celebrities to refrain from posting pictures of their valuables and the interiors of their homes on social media.
One of those burglary victims, Bucks forward Bobby Portis. It's now 2025 in some parts of the world. Thousands gathered in Sydney Harbor to ring in the new year. Tokyo just welcomed in 2025. They'll be followed by Bangkok, Dubai, Paris, and London, which rings in the new year at 6 p.m. our time. If you're planning to celebrate tonight, the DOT suggests you do it safely.
Did you know that every 39 minutes drunk driving claims the life of one person nationwide, and nearly half of all traffic fatalities in Wisconsin involved either drugs or alcohol? Law enforcement officers work all year long to keep impaired drivers off the road, but they want to pay close attention to the New Year's Eve holiday. They're not saying don't celebrate, just celebrate smartly. Get a designated driver in place. You can also use Uber or Lyft, and Molson Coors is once again offering free rides on MCTS this year. Debbie Lozica, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Last trading day of the year. Mixed bag now on Wall Street. The Dow is up 47 points. The Nasdaq down 21. The S&P 500 is up a point. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:03.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitchke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
With the ability to market luxury homes on a higher scale than ever before, Century 21 Benefit Realty has taken a huge step forward to tap into a global network of buyers. Maximum exposure to spotlight your unique home with our fine homes and estates marketing so you can sell it for the highest price. And with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission, you win. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The NFL has released the dates and times of the Week 18 regular season finale schedule. Packers kick off against the Bears from Lambeau Sunday afternoon. Green Bay coming off a close loss to the Vikings, already secured a playoff spot at 11-5. Team could play the Eagles, Rams, or Buccaneers on the road in round one. Bucks are back in action this afternoon for New Year's Eve, playing the Pacers in Indy. Bucks are riding a 2-game losing streak and sit at 16-14. College basketball, number 8 Marquette visits Providence tonight. Elsewhere, Milwaukee heads to Oakland Thursday night. Wisconsin hosts Iowa Friday night. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. It's quiet out there, not even any disabled vehicles that might be causing some problems. Typical drive times, the Zoo to the Marquette Interchange about 6 minutes, and 43 south from Brown Deer Road to the Marquette Interchange about a 14-minute drive. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Cloudy today, a high of 40. Light snow showers possible tonight, 27. Flurries possible tomorrow, 31. 30 on Thursday. Sunny and cold Friday and Saturday with highs in the mid-20s. 32 in Madison, 33 in Green Bay, 40 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:07.
What a year it's been. Thanks for listening to the inaugural year of the Upswing. presented by Oricon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs. Time to look back at some of the show's best conversations in 2024. Now, here he is, Jeff Sherman.
Now, to business, gentlemen.
'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
As we close out 2024, I wanted to look back. You got to look back in order to look forward. We had some wonderful conversations in the first year of the Upswing here. So many great voices, deep thinkers, business leaders, CEOs. We took a long, hard listen. Who was the best? Maybe some of the brightest. Here's some of our best conversations from the first year of the Upswing. In August on the show, we went down the happiness spiral. What's a happiness spiral? Are we happy here in Milwaukee? The World Happiness Report. Journal Sentinel reporter Natalie Eilbert joined to give us all the insights of what the happiness report's all about, but specifically, are we happy here in Wisconsin and Milwaukee?
Yeah, so this is really, I'm going to give you an obnoxious answer.
Okay.
As a journalist, I can't say for certain whether Milwaukeeans are happy per se. The World Happiness Report really only tracks the country as a whole through Gallup and other global partners. But I do know that the World Happiness Report uses something called Cantrell's Ladder, which determines social well-being. So Cantrell's Ladder asks people to imagine a ladder, and the topmost rung is where people are thriving the most.
Okay.
The middle rung is where people are, they're struggling a little bit. But then the bottom rung is where people are suffering. And so that bottom rung really, or I guess wherever you are on that rung, it just depends on, things like socioeconomic status, sense of belonging, resources, resilience. I know at least for Milwaukee, the city ranks second in poverty levels among the U.S.'s most 50 populated cities, but it also has a strong cultural identity. So, it just depends on the person, but it does really, if you imagine this ladder and think of where you are on it, that can give you kind of a sense of what might come next.
Yeah.
So,
those strong...
complicated answer.
Yeah, no, that's great. Those strong social connections are really powerful, and I think that's indicated on that ladder for sure. Someone once told me that, Jeff, you can have money, but don't let money have you. How are happiness and money linked, and what did you see in your reporting for and analyzing the World Happiness Report? Yeah,
so of course, we know that money can't buy happiness, but it really helps. Right? But to a point.
Yeah.
So rather than thinking of happiness goals in terms of money, I'd kind of reframe it a little bit. Do you have your basic needs met, and do you have resources available to you? Do you have access to green space? Do you have a positive view of the future? Unfortunately, money does give us a leg up with all of those things. But if all we do is spend money on ourselves for needless products that we then post to Instagram, that doesn't do a lot for our philosophical growth or our purpose, our sense of social connections and meaning, especially if we aren't thinking about our larger community. So it can help, but I would say if you're not using your money toward helping other people, that can, that does something, right? There's a lot of studies that show that we can achieve happiness through things like charity and volunteering. So it really is about how we use the money that we have, both for ourselves and for the people around us.
You had something called the positivity spirals that you saw in your research. What are positivity spirals, and how can they, maybe it's a little bit of a happiness hack, right?
It is. So, there's a bunch I can say about this, but there's someone named Dr. Richard Davidson. He's the lead scientist and founder of the Centers for Healthy Minds out of UW-Madison, and he breaks down happiness into 4 categories: awareness, connection, insight, and purpose. So positivity spirals use all 4 of those aspects, right? Imagine yourself walking down the street. Maybe you start to notice the leaves color the leaves, they're different colors because it's autumn, or there's a new growth that is beautiful, and then someone walks by you and you stop to chat with that person for a moment, or you just smile at them and they smile back. These things make us a little gladder to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
We do need those connections, those social connections. We are social beings. So being able to start paying attention to the world around us, we start to really admire potentially those things. But you mentioned doom scrolling. The more that we doom scroll, the more bad we'll find. The same is true for positivity. The more good we find every day, the better we might feel at the end of the day when we're sort of assessing how our day was.
Yeah. Well, another thing that the World Happiness Report says is that you got to lead with gratitude. So I'm grateful you took the time this morning, Natalie, to talk about your story and just shine a little light on hope and happiness in the greater Milwaukee market. Enjoy the rest of your week. I appreciate your time again.
Thank you so much, Jeff, for having me. I'm happy to be here.
All right. Very good.
While we're counting down to the end of 2024, we can also give a countdown for the Pacers, too.
I once got Happy New Year in March.
Because the ball on their season has already dropped. The Bucks ring in the new year against the Pacers.
A little stutter step, backs up, fires up on three, bullseye. Damian Lillard's on a 6-0 run.
Our Bucks Radio Game Day coverage starts today at 1:30. We are the home of the Bucks. WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Patrick and Monica initially chose a bank to get pre-approved and provide financing for the purchase of their first home. But they were getting a bad feeling when a week after their offer was accepted, the bank still hadn't locked in their rate, nor had the appraisal been ordered. Monica shared her concerns with a friend who happened to be a multi-time AccuNet client. That led to Monica connecting with one of our senior loan consultants the same day, and after gathering some information and reviewing options, we locked in their rate right then and there with loan costs $3,600 lower than what the bank had quoted. The appraisal was ordered right away too, and the loan closed on time just 3 weeks later. We also noticed an oversight in the contract that led to a $3,000 credit from the seller. You can get a generic pre-approval and average or worse service from a bank, or you can get the kind of fast service, advice, attention to detail, and savings that made Monica and Patrick AccuNet's latest raving fans. All you got to do to get started is click on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
If you could spend 1 month anywhere, where would you go?
Easy. I'd go to bed. Specifically, a new Tempur-Pedic from Hasselus Mattress.
Why?
Because I can take 60 months to pay for it. Through Monday, get 60 months interest-free financing on select Tempur-Pedic mattresses, plus a $300 MasterCard gift card.
Hang on.
What are you doing?
Searching for a travel agent to book a month-long vacation at Hasselus Mattress.
Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasselus.com.
Back to the very best of the Upswing. Presented by Horicon Bank.
I love talking to restaurant owners because they understand all the ins and outs of running a small business. They know how to scale, they know how to cook, they know how to create. The owners of Uncle Wolfie's opened a new restaurant this year, baby number 2 as they call it, Urban Cracker Barrel, right here in Milwaukee. Wolfgang Schaefer and Whitney McAllister. Wonderful insights on how to scale, build, and grow a local restaurant. So Whitney, Wolfgang, and at Uncle Wolfie's, how's hiring been, especially with adding a second location?
We've been pretty fortunate.
Yeah.
We get a lot of applications from a lot of really talented folks, and we, more often than not, we're turning away talent. You know, so we've been pretty fortunate with what we've been getting a hold of for sure.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it is that attracts the right kind of people, but we just keep finding folks who are gelling really well with us.
Good. That's great. What about tipping? Have you seen any recent changes lately on the consumer end and on the employee end? You know, it's a political season, and both candidates have some interesting policies on tipping. Has that affected your day-to-day business at all?
I've noticed more dynamism in tips. There's more. I think there are more people who are willing to drop a lot, and more people who are willing not to. And maybe that was really,
literally what I was going to say. Yeah. I think it's like last night we were working there, and it was like on one hand I saw no money left, and then on a $28 bill I saw $100 left. You know, like that's exactly what it is. There's kind of this more extreme happening.
What do you think accounts for that? I mean, the food's always great, right?
It's. I don't know what it could account for it. I don't know. I have no idea. I think some people have been in the service industry and they feel the obligation to their brethren.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that sense of loyalty and concern really powers some people.
Yeah, and then I think some people that, despite rising costs, like we were talking about before, and rising prices for the menu items, they're like, okay, it's expensive now. I'm not going to give you a tip. You know.
Yeah, that's true. Well, what about obviously, prices at a place like yours? I mean, I think they're in line with other places. You're looking at $16 to $20 a plate. That's not incredibly expensive. But do people look at portion size? Do they look at price? Do they look at value? Do they want to make sure that they have a little bit that they can take away to put in the fridge? Like, what is that customer decision when they're coming into Uncle Wolfie's?
Yeah,
or all the above.
I definitely think, and I think it's like a Wisconsin thing for sure. I think we're pretty generous with our portion sizes, and I don't think that Uncle Wolfie's is any different.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people come expecting to take it home for lunch later, you know?
Yeah, I always said Uncle Wolfie's is there to sop up whatever nasty you did yourself last night. So we got to have something big and sloppy.
We have some pretty big plates coming out of the kitchen for sure.
And you don't there's some good wait times on the weekends, especially at the Brewers Hill location. I mean, your popular spot. Has there been any, do you ever think, oh, we got to start taking reservations, or you kind of just like that no reservation lane?
Because that line is there, no reservations at the Brewers Hill is especially important. We can't have tables lay idle for too long. People are ready to go and ready to eat. So that just kind of paces itself. If we put reservations in the mix, I don't know.
Yeah, I just think the wheel is working as is, right? They shop in Orange and Blue, get a drink on the patio, take a walk to Sanger House Gardens.
Go have a pint at Lakefront.
It's a routine now,
Yeah,
or stay on our patio and have a pint.
That's right. The prices just inch up, inch up, inch up, which makes me appreciate going to a restaurant and seeing, wow, you got to buy this stuff at scale and then figure out a way to get me a plate at between $10 and $20, make it full. Man, balancing that every day with your suppliers, how do you do it?
It is a balancing act. You're constantly thinking of new ways to I guess increase profit, but it hasn't been made easy on us at all, for sure. Just like as you mentioned, we just try to do more things, think of different ways to utilize the space and different ways to create more product, because it is just in general more expensive. Everything about this industry is more expensive from our side.
Does having the adjacent retail business help drive an extra margin here and there, and some extra purchasing?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's one of the best parts about the business. We've got a pretty dynamic grouping of ideas that we have. We've got breakfast and lunch and dinner, and also this retail shop has always been a great supplement to the restaurants. It's since day one. It was born first. It was around before.
Yeah.
It's like the older sister to Uncle Wolfie.
I remember when you first opened in Brewers Hill, somebody said to me, it's like this new school Cracker Barrel. Like, it's real cool, like local stuff, but then the food is amazing and it's just the next generation. I'm like, wow, that's an interesting way to explain it.
It's the urban Cracker Barrel.
That's right.
When we're out in your town, come say hi to us as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're out on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show, wherever we may be, you can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station. We are Wisconsin's radio station.
WTMJ.
By now you've probably figured out what's most important to us at Semperfi is our reputation. Building a great character-driven remodeling company is actually quite easy. It's just the first 20 years that are a bit challenging. Great companies are collections of great people, and we have great people. They're the ones that helped us build our reputation, but they only come after you've built something they want to be part of. We don't necessarily have to look for good people. They come to us. And that's what you want when you hire an exterior remodeling company. Someone who's going to stand behind their work, and a company that is truly proud of their people. And it's because they do great work. And when you're ready, we'll do great work for you too. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
During your career, investments piled up. From 401ks to brokerage accounts, it turned into quite a collection. At Annex Wealth Management, we believe every portfolio tells a story. We've analyzed thousands. Some reflect diligence and fortitude. Others, a mishmash of overlapping investments. When Annex reviews a portfolio, we spot what works, what might not, and then provide unbiased suggestions. Every portfolio tells a story. Let's work on yours. Investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary. That's our story. Head to AnnexWealth.com.
Through His Word, God created the world and everything in it. Sadly, our words often threaten to destroy all that God has made. Dr. Michael Ziegler says Jesus is God's living invitation into a life-restoring dialogue with our Creator. In the beginning was dialogue. Dr. Ziegler's message this week on The Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Finding the special healthcare resources families need just got easier. Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network helps kids with delays, disabilities, special healthcare needs, and mental health conditions. Call toll-free 877-947-2929. Ask questions. Get answers. Connect today toll-free 877-947-2929. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Back to the very best of the Upswing. Presented by Horicon Bank.
Wellness, health and wellness on our mind for sure. But what is in our clothes? I'm always interested in the little labels on the back of our t-shirts. Like, what is all this stuff? So Chris Colby, one of the owners of Hypernatural, joined us to talk fast fashion. Is what we wear killing us? Oh, amazing insights from Chris Colby and Hypernatural. This conversation from October. So you spent your career, Land's End, Kohl's, and now are in the entrepreneurial fashion space yourself. Tell us about Hypernatural, kind of what you want to do from a product standpoint, but also from obviously a materials standpoint. That seems like the problem you're out to solve.
Exactly. So I personally have always never felt great about wearing synthetic materials on my body. You know, they make you hot, they make you sweat, they actually smell awful. Yeah. Like sometimes I've had to leave shirts in hotel rooms because I just can't pack them. And so you get to this place and you just sort of, why do I not like this so much? And so I've always been aware of what I'm putting into my body, but not as much of what I was putting onto my body. Mm-hmm. And so what I've really discovered is what you put on your body is what goes in your body. Yeah. And so as you dig a little bit deeper, you realize there's not a lot of great options in the world of performance materials that are not synthetics coated in chemicals. Mm-hmm. And so making clean, naturally performing materials, but using science to do it, I saw as an enormous opportunity. And there's a ton of innovation going on in material science, particularly biomaterials, which are derived from natural ingredients. And so we spent 2 years developing this special fiber and yarn with the idea that we could produce a fabric, and that fabric really became Hypernatural.
And where are you producing that fabric?
So we make it in Asia.
Okay.
A lot of the waste comes from Asia. So we're using everything from seafood waste to mining waste to all these different things that are just readily available. Yeah. And then we repurpose and regenerate them into all new fibers and materials that actually have performance capability. So they cool the skin, they resist odor, they actually reduce inflammation in the body. So there's all these sort of other benefits by using these natural ingredients.
And as a smaller brand then, raising money, where do you think your niche will be as you continue to grow?
Well, right now we're going after what is clean, cooling, bioperformance materials. So things that you can work out in or play golf in and ultimately do it without having the risks of undermining your health. And so as people become more aware, much as they have in the food industry or the clean beauty industry, of the effects of having these sort of non-clean materials on your body or in your body, we think the market will shift. And so there's a lot of forces that will shift the market, including government regulations.
What impact could the election and possible government regulations not only come in, you're seeing a lot of clothing regulations in Europe, you're seeing some in California and New York. How could that transform the fashion business?
Is, and I don't think the election itself will really determine how that evolves. But in Europe, in California, in New York, there is a number of legislation going through around the idea of really starting to tax the polluters, disincentivize the dirty practices that lead to ecological impact, but also human health. And so you're starting to see, like in France, they're taxing fast fashion like cigarettes, and they're making it more expensive to buy these cheap goods. And then also charging a cost for end of life, which is most of these things, these clothes and fast fashion get dumped into Goodwill bills and become baled. And then we ship them off to the southern half of the world, and they end up in Africa, India, and all these other places. And so these countries are starting to reject this textile waste. And so all this legislation is really pointed at really starting to make accountable in terms of the cost of these types of goods, but also making it incentivizing the clean. And so I think incentivizing clean, just like in energy, is the way you start to shift the market, in addition to just letting people know what's actually happening.
So the education is around, not necessarily environmentally friendly sustainability. It's about creating clean fashion, clean beauty, clean energy. Like, that is where we're moving as an economy.
Yeah, it's more than a trend. So, like, I'd say clean is a transformation that's been happening since the 70s or 80s through food. You think about Whole Foods. And then in 2010, clean beauty wasn't even a word, and now it's 85, 90 brands at Sephora. You're starting to see it going into clean materials because of the overall ecological impact, but also the human cost. The cancers, infertility, all the things that we're seeing. Breast cancer is, getting younger and younger, and it's all a root of our environment, and materials that we put on our body is a big part of that environment.
There's a lot of the first layer companies now that are making, more friendly products so that the materials aren't seeping into bodies and causing cancers.
That's right. And so what is clean is an important question in your environment. And so materials is often overlooked. And so we're trying to turn up the volume on that. And then I think transparency of how you certify clean. There are things like Okotex and Blue Sign certifications, which are the only way to know if what you're wearing isn't toxic.
All right. Clean fashion with Hypernatural. Chris, I appreciate you coming in the studio and taking time with us this morning.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
The holiday shopping season is here. WTMJ's John Merck here. I've got a great idea for you. Gift cards from the historic Fox and Hounds, voted the best supper club in the area, make perfect holiday gifts. I was just talking to a coworker today who was at the Fox and Hounds last week, said it was fantastic. It was spectacular. And if you buy a $100 gift card, you get a $20 gift card free. Buy $250, get $50 free. Buy $500, get $125 free. With the buy one dinner, get one free offer, when you buy one gift card, it's like getting a second gift card for free. So gift cards for your loyal employees and clients make wonderful holiday gifts, and your company will save hundreds of dollars. Order online at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. Book your company party at the Fox and Hounds in December or January. Half of your employees' dinners are free. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine. It is gorgeous at the holidays. The holiday lights and decorations are absolutely magical. Enjoy your free dinner tonight at Fox and Hounds.
I haven't had anything to eat for days, and being hungry hurts.
Going without oil changes can destroy your engine, but it doesn't compare to the effect of going without food. That's why the Automobile Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee is determined to make sure no one goes to bed hungry. Through March 1st, they'll donate $1 from every oil change to Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 14 years, Adam has donated over $890,000, providing more than 2.6 million meals to people across southeast Wisconsin, the majority being children and seniors. And with today's ongoing challenges, the need is greater than ever. So help the hungry while helping your vehicle. Get your oil changed by Adam Dealer Factory Train Techs at a price as low or lower than independent shops. Visit an Adam member dealer near you.
For a list of participating dealers, visit adamm.com.
Back to the very best of the Upswing. Presented by Horicon Bank.
May was Mental Health Awareness Month. Jennifer Bartolotta joined us on May 8th to talk about restaurants and feelings. Jennifer's late husband, Joe Bartolotta, left such an amazing legacy in this community. The restaurant group still remains. Jennifer's no longer with the restaurant group, the Bartolotta Restaurant Group, but she's launched a whole business around health, wellness, and healing ourselves with our feelings. You said something to me as we were planning and preparing and putting the show together that, one thing, and you've always had a ton of love in your heart, but one thing you really learned was that you gotta love everyone. You don't necessarily have to like everyone, but you gotta love everyone. Explain that and that process in your life.
You bet. At the beginning of every year, I choose to take on a topic, something that's standing in my way of being the person I want to be. And this year, I chose a hard one: how we see other people, how I see other people. And when we see other people and we attach a label to it or a judgment to it, we are limited in our ability to see their true humanity. So it was something I wanted to work on. And I chose the word transcendence. I wanted to transcend how I saw people this year. And I was looking at my 3 golden retrievers that Joe and I shared. And I thought, they have one lesson for us that they need to teach us while they're here. And that is to love unconditionally. And they stand by our sides no matter how crappy we are, how bad we behaved, how we might have hurt somebody else, and they are at that back door waiting for me, and they love me no matter how I am. And I thought, wow, if I could be like my dogs, if I could truly be like my dogs and just say, I'm done fighting judgment about people. What I want to do is I want to love everybody unconditionally. Now that I've talked to people about it, and you're looking, you're like raising your eyebrows
kind of hard,
right now.
Right?
Yeah. So what it is for me is it might be hard to like people, but the reality is that we are incredibly complicated and we're simple, and we are all different from each other, and we're all the same. And at our core is a basic humanity driven by basic human needs. And when we don't have our needs met, we are likely to behave in a way that hurts other people. So I might not like what you did.
Right.
I might not like what you said. I might not like you.
Right.
I might not like all of you. And yet I see your humanity, and I know that the things I don't like about you are driven by something I can't see. And that allows me to be in the place I want to be, which is flowing emotionally, as opposed to getting locked up and caught up, and my ego getting caught up in what somebody said or did. Behind it, there's a beautiful Tim McGraw song called Hurt People. Only hurt people hurt people. Only lost people lose people. Only left people leave people. Only broken people break people.
Yeah.
That really is our essence.
How does a restaurant girl turn into a feelings expert?
It's a great question. And the short answer is I was broken. So the day Joe died also marked my departure from the Bartolotta restaurants. And while that didn't happen officially for 10 more months, what happened to me was the utter shock of losing Joe, and then having to process that I had made the quintessential mistake of tying my very identity to something outside of myself. Over 20-ish years, as Joe and I worked together in the company, I had roles. I had things that I did. I pursued things that we cared about.
Well, you also you had a ton of successes.
We
right?
did. We for sure
built a restaurant icon.
And, you know, my job essentially in the later years was to connect deeply and meaningfully to the community. So I worked and engaged our employees on all kinds of different levels to get their opinions and their thoughts about how we can connect to Milwaukee and move needles in the city, and we did that. So when you attach your identity to something outside of yourself, sooner or later the thing's going to go away, right? Whether it naturally ends, whether it ends suddenly and unexpectedly, whether it's yanked away from you, you lose your job, you know. So in my case, I lost my husband, I lost my job, and I lost my identity. And that broke me. I literally thought to myself, well, if I'm not Joe's wife and I don't have this job and my identity is gone, who am I?
Right. What should I do? How can I get there?
Literally.
How do I reinvent? Can I do it?
Can I do it?
Yeah.
So for me, the straw that broke my camel's back was right after COVID had hit. The day was March 20th. And I went online to grab a screenshot to promote that Paul Bartolotta was doing curbside pickup at the restaurants, only to see that he had absolutely made the right business decision and furloughed 950 employees. But back to my traumas that I hadn't dealt with, I still wasn't used to the fact that I wasn't part of the company. And that, for me, was my seminal moment in the breakage. And clinically, I became enraged.
Now it's almost like, whoa, this company's moving on without me.
Without me.
I have to move on. The world has changed. What does that mean?
World's been dumped upside down.
Yeah.
Right?
In so many ways, yeah.
What does that mean for me? And I tried talk therapy. I tried psychotherapy. And I am not anti-psychotherapy by any means. It just didn't work for me. So I found my way to a certification as a train the trainer. At the time, it was called Sane A. Today, it's WellPoint in their trauma-informed care program. And I became absolutely fascinated by the impact that our emotions have on our physiology, like the damage we are literally doing to our bodies when we have big emotions and we're letting them run rampant in this vessel that is a gift to us.
Founded by inventors, fueled by community, and focused on business. It's WTMJ's Jeff Sherman for Horicon Bank. They've been doing banking differently since 1896. Financing requests can be approved in days, not weeks, because your banker understands you and your business. Service and products go hand in hand. They provide top-notch products to meet your cash flow needs. And Horicon Bank gets the job done. Together, doing good. That's their vision, and they're committed to doing what it takes to help your business. Horicon Bank, truly the natural choice. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
When you say Hasselus Mattress is employee-free, you don't really mean it, right?
Of course we mean it. At Hasselus, give the mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy.
Why no employees?
To save you money.
How much money?
Well, others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Elm Cove B Queen mattress for $1,650, but the everyday Hasselus price is just $842. We have way low pricing on CertaPerfect Sleeper and Sealy Posturepedic too.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Plus, through Monday, purchase a select Beauty Rest, Sealy Posturepedic, or CertaPerfect Sleeper in any size, and Hasselus will give you a free adjustable base.
That's even better.
Free next day delivery, free removal and setup of your new mattress, and free financing is available too.
And this is all because your showrooms are employee-free?
Yes, sir.
I like the way you do business.
Open 9 to 9. Get all the details and find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com. Hasselus, employee-free since 2014.
Hey, it's New Year's Eve. Celebrate with your kids and grandkids at the family-friendly Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure. I assure you, you will not spend a lot of money today at the Mine Shaft. The authentic New Year's Eve Mexican buffet is all you can eat, just $9.99. That's crazy. Kids 5 and under eat free from the kids menu, and those older kids, their menu starts at just $3.99. Your kids will love so much fun in that $2 million game room, quietly set aside from the dining area. They play, you enjoy an after-dinner drink. Enjoy a huge 18-inch pizza, a pitcher of beer or soda, and 100 game room tokens for under $45. And that pizza easily feeds a family of 4, and I love the Mine Chef pizza. The game room opens at 12 noon, so come early and hang out all day. Celebrate New Year's Eve today with your kids at the family-owned Mind Chef restaurant in beautiful downtown Hartford and near the EAA in Oshkosh. Just walk on in. It's the Mind Chef.
The next time you're due for service, visit richlands.com to schedule an appointment at any of our 5 conveniently located facilities.
All AAA approved and all staffed by ASE certified technicians ready to serve you.
Richlands. Struggling with high cloud hosting costs and endless management headaches with your Microsoft Azure or AWS environment? Contact AmericanEagle.com for assessment and see how they can save you time and money.
Are you tired of being tired? Go to AdventKnows.com.
Back to the very best of the Upswing. Presented by Horicon Bank.
In October, the new owner of Pete's Pops joined us, Ian Robinson. So I had to ask Ian, so you're looking for business opportunities. Do you buy a franchise? Do you start your own business? What do you do? Why would you buy a popsicle company? Why? Because he's got big plans on how to scale it nationally. So, price per popsicle. You're looking at what? What are you charging at the stores?
If you buy it at a store, it'll be $4 a pop. We did start to introduce some more fun specialty flavors that took a little bit more effort to make, and we bumped up those for specialty price of $5, but we try and keep that as low as we can.
All right. So you're selling out of 4 locations right now, and obviously that, and then you have events, you have catering per se. I'm guessing one of the plans is, hey, can we do this on a retail level, maybe local, maybe scale it regionally, maybe nationally? Is that something that you're analyzing?
Definitely something to think about down the road. I think right now what we've found a lot of success is with partners that put our branded freezers in. So nature centers that do kids camps during the summer are very successful. We had an agreement with Betty Brinn Children's Museum to put a freezer there. So we like that level because it keeps it special and keeps it local. If we get to a point nationally, we want to focus on that as a potential outlet for us. We would approach that, but I think right now I like the idea of not being in the big stores and keeping that smaller feel, specialty feel.
Yeah, because you walk down, it's kind of like the frozen pizza aisle. Like there's just frozen pizzas forever, and and the same with the frozen treats, right? You have the big national brands. You got Johnny Pops. That's positions as a smaller brand, but this is a huge brand.
Yes.
You have Good Pops, and obviously Unilever owns the popsicle brand. So if you get onto that space, well, what would be your strategy to kind of compete in that arena?
It would be tough. I worry because we have such high quality products. I worry most about having to water down the products to meet a price point for a grocery store. So I think that's a problem I haven't really thought too much about. I think a lot of the value we offer in our products, the pops are very unique flavors, and they're local or regional. So I like keeping it that way for right now, and keeping that excitement over them, so that when you see it at a cart, it's not like, oh, I saw it at a grocery store and at this farmer's market. It's only there. So I think when it comes to competition, that'd be a totally different business model that we haven't really put together quite yet.
Yeah.
But also not our main focus.
Yeah. Okay. And you make all the popsicles right here on Village Street. What's
correct.
that team there, and how many people are in that process?
Oh, it's in the dead of summer. It is a hopping place in there.
Yeah.
So I think we ended up with around 78 total employees in the middle of summer.
Okay.
So you walk into the production facility and we're bursting at the seams there, but it's packed. I mean, we're running people.
Yeah.
They're making the popsicle, the base. Will then get molded into the pops, and then we have a big wrapping machine that wraps them all up so we can box them. So you got people in every single room working. But then once schools go back in session, all the college employees are back there, and it feels lonely, but we're still clipping along as much as we can.
All right, very good. So I love when I finish a Pete's Pop. You see the many popsicle brands do this on the stick. There's a message.
Yes.
On Pete's Pops, it's always keep pushing. Like just onward, upward, on the upswing, right?
Yes.
Always. And that's it's motivational.
Yes, I think so too. It started, basically started to keep pushing. We're pushing the carts around. That's where the brand started. But now I think it's just, keep pushing through whatever you got. The struggles, I live that every day. I mean, there's always business struggles. We just keep pushing, and it's going to work out in the end. So I like that tagline, and we'll definitely keep it.
Very good. Ian Robinson is the new owner of Pete's Pops. Quickly, Ian, about 10 seconds. What's a new flavor that you really, really just need to do?
We're playing around with a lot of flavors. I'd love to see the Summerfest fruit punch get out there a little bit more. We made a special one for that, and I love that flavor. It's not like the kids fruit punch. It's more of a adult flavor profile. So I'd love to see that pushed out more.
Very good. All right, keep pushing. Congratulations on the business purchase.
The only place to get this.
The Bucks are back. 97-81. They clobber the Thunder. They are the Emirates NBA Cup champions.
You got the best player in the NBA wearing the Milwaukee across his chest. He's us. I mean, we're him, he's us.
Get it all on Bucks Talk, your all-encompassing Milwaukee Bucks postgame show with Justin Garcia and Brandon Snide. Only heard here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
So how do you underpromise and still get the job? We believe in our hearts we're going to do great work for you. We're just really careful about making unrealistic promises. At Semper Fi, we refuse to set the bar higher than we can jump. But be assured, that's the goal, to do all we can to jump as high as possible to try to exceed your expectations. We're looking to break records. That's how you win over customers, get really great referrals, and build a great business. When you're making a decision to hire an exterior remodeling company, character, integrity, and the feeling that the people you're about to hire are truly eager to show you how good they are should stand at the top of your list. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
While you rest on the weekends, we work for you. Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. The latest in news.
The amount of energy people are using is going up. Power companies are changing where that power comes from.
Entertainment.
This is the culmination of these tour journals of all the weirdest shows I've played.
And more.
Anybody who looks at this institutionally would never allow recess appointments to happen when a Republican president gets elected, because they'll know what will happen if a Democrat gets elected.
Every Sunday morning starting at 8 on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. Back to the very best of the upswing. Presented by Horicon Bank.
In early November, Milwaukee lost one of its finest, just a great thinker, truly passionate, wonderful human being, Alderman Jonathan Brostoff. In early November, Milwaukee lost one of its finest. Alderman Jonathan Brostoff passed away. At the end of October, he joined us on the Upswing to talk about the swing park in his district, all the renovations along North Avenue, and what his visions and dreams are for the future of Milwaukee.
So give us the quick history of the park. It's now kind of being referred to as the Landing at Tannery Road to kind of be adjacent to the development that's coming around it. What's the history of the park, and what role do you see it kind of being I don't know, part of a broader development to revitalize that whole area.
Yeah, well, technically it's in the Tannery Row neighborhood. It's not exact. It's Brady Street adjacent, but it's technically Tannery Row, so that's where the name came from. And they want a lot of the neighbors, want to see something that's family friendly, that's much more encouraging and well kept for the neighborhood to again use as an asset. And previously, there was kind of this guerrilla-style project, and UWM was involved, or a student from UWM, or an architect, professor, and they, kind of put it up, and it was great. But unfortunately, it became technically a city park after that, but it wasn't well maintained, and after years and years of degradation, it, unfortunately kept diminishing, and then after that, while it wasn't being kept up, there was some negative elements in the area, including some, situations around violence and a lot of property damage and things of that nature. And it kind of got to a boiling point in the neighborhood, and so there's been a lot of conversations. But again, we want to take something that did provide some challenges to the area and transform it into a huge asset, a big positive, and especially since you've got so many schools in the area. You've got Cass Street School in Tamarack, you've got young families in the area, and you have a lot of folks that want to see something beautiful happen there.
Yeah. I mean, it's placemaking 101. You're looking to reimagine a space and make it a place and destination for everyone.
Exactly.
So big changes are coming to East North Avenue as you head through into the beautiful east side of Milwaukee. Construction began, it's been going on for a while, but tell us what you're doing to improve safety on the east side of Milwaukee.
Yeah, absolutely. That corridor on East North Avenue historically has been one of the top 10 statistically most dangerous corridors in the city. And as we all know, public safety and reckless driving is a huge challenge. And we want to basically use the built environment to create streets that are going to be safer, more family friendly, easier for people with mobility challenges, better for drivers, pedestrians, bicyclists, and folks that are on scooters, other modes of transportation. So that's exactly what we're doing to that part of North Avenue. We are installing a proper protected bike lane. We're going to have the little bus shelters that are going to be a lot easier to get on and get off, and make it easier for folks to use our wonderful public transit system. And overall, we've already seen some improvements. For example, right by Maryland Avenue Montessori, as you're turning north onto Maryland, you see, it's right at the entrance of the school, the hospital, and the elderly home. We made a little kind of pedestrian island there to reduce the tension there, and it's been a huge improvement already. This is what we're seeing now is the end of phase 1 for East North Avenue, and next year we'll start phase 2. But yeah, it's safer streets for everyone, so pretty exciting.
As you look at your district, what other transportation and infrastructure improvements do you believe are needed to support the businesses? I mean, the East Side is such a creative mix of not only people but